basically my solution to this whole pronoun problem is I'm just going to say Madison's name. And what I mean is, if, my mom or Mark, like, they're like, where is she? I'm going to say Madison's over there. Madison's in my room. I have Madison. If they're like, do you want to take her outside? Do you want to take Madison outside? Yes, I'll take Madison outside. Now it's going to be weird because it was already weird for me to get into the groove and get into the system, the neutral system of they, theirs, and them, and, any other, neutral sentence or neutral way of describing, Madison. It was hard because, number one, I grew up with that rigid system of if someone looks this way, they sound this way, then this is what you call them. If someone is born biologically this is what you call them. This is what they look like. These are the clothes that they wear. And that was basically it. And of course, with me, I was associated a certain way, with that same system. I was associated a certain way based off of that same system. And, to just say the least, I know that system pretty well. Because it was handed down, it was taught to me, and not only that, but those views were pushed onto me as well. And, it was basically, I thought there was nothing I could do about it, really. I didn't think anything of it. That's just how it was. So I grew up, and of course, I, found myself, and I was like, okay, I found out, yeah, I don't like this. This is uncomfortable. No, I don't like it. It makes me feel small. I don't like this. This is weird. Why are people calling me this? Why can't they call me this? You know what I'm saying? I've already said that I find it more respectful to just, especially with kids, just like let them be free to find who they are. With anything, whether it's, they find that their favorite fruit are strawberries and not, oranges or bananas, well, fine. But you let them find that out and discover that for themselves. And the same thing with sexuality, expression, in any way, like whether they like to paint their toenails or whether they don't, whether they floss or just they brush their teeth, whether, their clothes or, whatever, or no clothes, because nudists exist. And I know as soon as I said that, people are like, really? Would you let your kids be nudists? Would you stand for that? Okay, even though this is like off the topic, I get it. I'm the one who brought it up. So yeah, let me answer. Yeah, but it would be hard for me to get used to the idea that, people are going to be seeing. It's not the hardest part of that. Isn't what you're a nudist? No, because that in itself isn't the hardest part for me to come to terms with. The hardest part is that people are literally going to be able to see my kid. And I'm talking about like when this person's like maybe 34 years old, and maybe if, my kid figures this out like at 16, 15, and if they want to live their life like this, who am I to try to suffocate them and tell them, this is how you're going to be, you know what I'm saying? The hardest part, if my kid wanted to be a nudist, is like, people are going to be able to see my kid. Like I said, whether they're 15 or whether they're 69 years old, they're going to be able to see my kid in full flesh. That would be the hardest part, and that would be uncomfortable for me to deal with. But again, if my kid's fine with it, if they have comfort in it, it's their thing, it's their life, you know what I'm saying? And maybe someone's like, what? That's ridiculous. And of course I know there are people who are like naming other things, like, okay, what if your kid wanted to be a pedophile? What if your kid wanted to, hurt people all the time? What if your kid wanted to rape someone or whatever, or sexual abuse? Yeah, okay. Different video, horror topics. Yeah, both of those, like, all three of those actually are really horror topics. Anyway, the main point, I guess if anyone actually does leave a comment and ask, literally the questions I said, like, what if your kid wants to be a pedophile? What's your reaction to that if you believe so much in this, free options thing? And so if anyone actually who, like out of the 416 people who actually watch my stuff, actually leaves a comment like that, and you actually want to know, post on back or whatever, make a video about it. Cool, cool. And then you watch that, and then I guess from there you get your answer. Okay? Okay. Yeah, it's kind of how it works. I mean, it's not like you can, like, literally, like, ask me face to face, because, you know, you're probably somewhere in, like, Idaho, you know, Iowa, or whatever, you know, Philadelphia, or, you know, Wisconsin, and, you know, here I am, you know, on my bed in my room. And anyway, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do as far as the solution, because I'm just not, like I said, I have way of believing that it's disrespectful to just to pronoun and to genderize. And I'm certainly not going to do that with my little sibling, who I really do love deeply and care about. I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not going to put that on them. I'm not going to be a pusher towards them. It's not what I believe. And that's basically what I'm going to have to do. And if, like you said, it was already hard getting into the neutral pronoun system, but of course now, because I don't ever hear anyone else talk like, you know, where's Brian? Brian's over there. Really? Did Brian go to work? Yeah, Brian did. Really? Okay. Well, Brian just used the bathroom. Really? Brian did? No, I don't hear people talk like that. So it's going to be hard for me to adjust even more. But, you know, if that's what has to be done, that's just what it is, you know? Anyway, and if it becomes another problem for them, you know, both of them, they're like, why do you say their names often? Why can't you just call Madison what she is? Why can't you just call Madison a she and a her? Because she is a girl. You know, if they want to get into all that stuff again, basically make another problem and another issue out of what I already worked so hard to try to compromise with already, well, that's just gonna be it. You know? Go like, you know, there's a problem, we don't like it. Oops. Well, that's where it ends. See? Because, you know, after a certain point, this is the cutoff point right here. I've done all I can do right now to satisfy you and, you know, to make living with both of you livable, bearable, you know, less stressful of an environment. And if both of you want to pull this stuff out of your ass right now and make even more problems about what I've already tried to do, well, then that's just it. If there's a problem, well, that's where it ends. Because it's not, this time, it's not there's a problem and Johnny's gonna try to work around it and try to be a people pleaser. No, this is where the line's drawn for me. I'm just not gonna use feminine pronouns or male pronouns or whatever else. I'm just not gonna do it. I'm not using typical societal pronouns. I'm just not doing it. There's a part of me that really hates typical societal pronouns. You know, I'm just not gonna do it. And if, you know, it still becomes even more of a problem, like, yeah, well, we don't like how, you know, you're still not, you know, you're not calling her what she is, and, you know, you're saying her name too much. Just nitpicky little, like, 3-year-old hissy fit problems. Okay. That's literally all there is for me to say. And if they keep adding, I'm just gonna have to walk out. Because, literally, you know, if you think you're gonna come to me with a problem, and you think I'm gonna try to, you know, come up with a kind of solution again and try to fix your problems, that ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing that can be done about this. Literally, I'm exhausted. I'm laid out. There's nothing else I can do for you to help you at this point. If you still have a problem, I've done what I could to adjust and to satisfy you, as much as I could. And if you come to me with another problem, you know, I can't do it. I can't do it because there literally is not a problem with what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm just saying in future events, if there somehow is a problem from just saying the name, well, that's it. That's just where it ends. They come to me, well, I have a problem with this. Well, that's literally where it stops for me. That's where I stop listening. Because here's the main point of everything. You have a problem. Not, I don't like this because you do. No. You have the problem. Fix it. You have the problem. Because you came to me with a bullshit problem already. And what did I do? I rearranged, I tried to fix it, tried to make shit better, and then more stress-free and everything, but you know what? You have another problem, that's just where it ends. There's no more compromising, there's no more fucking Mr. Nice Guy. That's just it. Anyway, that's where it ends. I'm done. That's where it's gonna end. Um, yeah, and I'll just see how things go from here. There shouldn't be any more problems. If there are, I already said, yeah, it's over. I'm not listening. I'm just gonna have to like fucking walk out or whatever. And that's it. Yeah. I love and really care for my little sibling, and I just really hope I can keep being there for them in their life, and have fun with them, make nice memories and everything. Because I really love them. I don't ever want them to get hurt. I love the hell out of them, man. I do. I love the hell out of them. I care so much for them. I don't want them to ever get hurt or, anything. I really want to be able to have fun with them and pick them up, throw them in the air and everything and swing them around and, be that fun big brother. So I never had that before. And I'm especially not going to let little shit like this, those nitpicky problems like this get in the way of me having, the joy of being able to do that. My mom even said, well, if you don't stop with all this they and them stuff, trying to confuse them, well then I'm just not going to allow you to see Madison anymore. And, it was really disappointing to hear that. Like, really? Really? You're going to take it there? Like, it's gotten to that point? Anyway. And also, I remember way back when I asked my mom, like, would you ever do anything like that? Like, would you ever take Madison away? Like, if you felt like, like, if you're, like, looking at, like, how I dress, and you're like, I don't want my kid, and if you got the idea that, like, your other kid is gonna basically start dressing like me too, and I know that worries the hell out of them, you know what I'm saying, my mom especially, because she didn't even want the first kid who was like that, just naturally, you know what I'm saying, because I know that. I asked her, and then she saw me, she was like, no, just be quiet, don't come at me with all that mess, just be quiet. Eventually, when she let me finally finish asking my question, she's like, no, I'm not gonna do that, I would never do that. And it was really disappointing that, like, so fucking fast everything's twisted around. I get it, like, you'll like, parents do anything, like, to protect their kids or whatever, but even when in reality there's really no fucking harm, there's no need for protection, it's harmless. Yeah, that was really disappointing, but at least now with what I'm doing, she can't try to, like, cock block me, and she can't try to, like, manipulate the situation or use any tiny little thing she thinks she can against me, because like I said, I have my heart set on a certain future with Madison. I'm not gonna let that go down the toilet, especially not over something as stupid as this, when there is no fucking danger. The words they kept saying, you're not gonna confuse them, you're not gonna convert them, you're not gonna change them, you think you're gonna have your little experiment with my kid, you're gonna try to raise my kid how you want to. All that bullshit that was just escalated basically to like, out of space levels, really. Yeah, it was really disappointing, and especially the fact that my mom had really taken back what she said. Like, I mean, not only like that fast, but over something like this, you know what I'm saying? Because I use neutral pronouns. It just, anyway, it just really, again, shows, like, the general person's typical understanding of things that aren't, placed in boxes, that aren't so heavily set in gender roles or, whatever. It's just, it's understandable. Just like I'd say in general, just in human nature, you fear what you don't know. Like, you fear what you don't understand. You know what I'm saying? It blows your mind so much. Yeah, it's like, for a while, sometimes you'll reject it just so you don't have to deal with it or realize that, hey, this is real. Like, this is really happening to me. Right now, this situation or this crisis in the world really exists, That's just like survival techniques and mechanisms, Anyway, I gotta go.